Well, hello, TikTok. Hello, everybody that's going to hear this eventually in the future, probably on YouTube and Facebook Live. No, it won't be on Facebook Live. I'm doing this kind of on the fly. Are we supposed to have some meteor showers coming up soon? Soon, I don't know. But there's the moon. I'm over the Oregon coast. I am, of course, Rocken Locken. Yeah, so how's everybody doing? Energy's kind of crazy this last month. I mean, they always say that, but, you know, we enter into these new unknown phases and dimensions as we're moving up the ladder, the rung of Ascension. And, you know, the dimensions, of course, are multi-runged, so we're getting there. We're getting to, like, each rung with all these, celestial events and things of that nature. And then, of course, on the dichotomy of that is we have, you know, the things going on in mainstream. You know what occurred to me tonight, and I'm just speaking randomly off the cuff, what occurred to me is I overheard my dad in the den watching his illusionary news. Well, they were talking about, okay, that what went down in New York City. 5 people dead, and, you know, and it's sad, and I'm listening to one of the officials talk just for a second. And he's like, well, this is one of the biggest, this is like the biggest, I think he even used the words, this was the biggest tragedy to hit New York. Like, he made it, I almost caught it that he said ever. I can't believe he would have said that. I might have to go back and check it out, but almost like he said that. I'm like, okay, for one, doesn't he remember 9/11? That had like thousands of people dead. And how many people die in that fucking city every day anyway? Or anywhere, you know what I mean? I'm not picking on New York City, of course, but, I mean, for that guy to come out and say that that was the biggest tragedy, like, that's ever fucking happened. I mean, what about the people that are dying there every day, that are homeless, and so I just, you know, I don't really deal with the illusion much. I just thought it was odd as I caught part of that on the TV, right, as I'm not even paying attention, but my dad had it on out in the den. I'm like, well, what's going on? You know, I saw that something happened. It looked like, you know, I figured it was a shooting or whatever. And when that guy said that, I asked my dad real quick, I said, well, how many did die? And he did say 5. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not like the biggest tragedy to ever hit fucking New York ever. Let's overdo it. And then they'll hype it up. I don't even know what it's about, to tell you the truth, right? I haven't even bothered to find out, but whatever it is, I mean, they'll use it for some kind of a hype, or, you know, to keep people distracted. Well, that's nothing new. That's always kind of how it is, right? And the thing is, most of the players involved in it aren't really complicit. They know what's going on, kind of too, you know, but it's just kind of an institutionalized way of being, right? Like I heard this lady the other day. I'm not trying to pick on people. I caught this because I was on X posting some stuff from some orbs in one of my talk shows, and this lady's like, "This is the best on X. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me." And I looked down, and I looked down, and okay, so Bruce Springsteen and Robert De Niro moved to Canada, and that was the best thing that ever happened. I mean, okay, so whatever you think politically, who cares about that? I really don't give a shit, okay? I know all about it. I know about politics. I could school probably anybody listening, and that's not because I'm really that smart. I was involved in it for a lot of years. And, you know, like, you know, fairly high, not real high, middle way, right? So I know how it works, and I know how government works as far as their procedurals go, the Senate, the Congress, right? But I heard this lady say that the best thing that ever happened was Robert De Niro. I mean, she said it with exclamation marks. It was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me, just like that. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and then in smaller letters, that they had moved to Canada. Okay, well, it's all a joke and an illusion. Listen, those two probably, first of all, whatever you think of him, Robert De Niro, you know, God love him, he's older, you know, he's past his prime, whatever. He's not really doing any more movies, I don't think. You know, and Bruce Springsteen, you know, he's kind of, you know, he's older and kind of retired too, so whatever their political activism is, I mean, who cares about this for this issue here? I mean, so they moved to Canada. Look, dude, I had to tell, I almost told this lady, I did, I said, look, lady, they probably they've got some kind of dual citizenship because of who they are anyway, and they own mansions in Canada too. That, believe it or not, yeah. I mean, who knows? Suburban Toronto, who knows? Winnipeg, you know, Vancouver, anywhere, Montreal, the Yukon. Really, probably multiple ones. So, I mean, for one, it's not really that big of a fucking deal for them to, even if you understand their sentiment and why they'd want to do it, right? I get it. But So they're moving to Canada. That's the best thing ever. And then, but it doesn't just quit with that lady there. It's other shit too, right? So, I mean, she really gets excited over like anything. And it's not even like the real political issues that are the hot buttons right now that she gets on about, right? It's about shit like that. Or something, and it acts like, wow. I mean, I'm sure, like, if you're of that political persuasion, right, I'm sure you can't stand the two, right? You know, I get it. I totally get it, right? But I mean, it was the best thing that ever happened to her, and it wasn't like I pick up the energy from shit, and it wasn't like, okay, yeah, fucking good riddance to those chumps, right? Get the hell out of here, right? And now that I could have understood, right? That, you know what I mean? But like, oh my God, it's the fucking greatest. It's the end all. It's like Jim McKay announcing the beginning of, if you're old enough, ABC Wide World of Sports in the 70s, 80s, and 80s. It's the most spectacular. It's the most amazing. Yeah, well, I mean, you know what? I'm jealous of her, kind of, in a way. I got to be quite honest. I'm jealous of her because I would like to have it that easy. Or, I mean, that as far as having a good time. I mean, I would like to be entertained that easy. Yeah, I would like to really have it that easy to where, okay, hey, fuck, man, this is the end-all, be-all. Two people I'll never meet in my life. Two people that'll probably never be on the silver screen really again, or, you know, do another record, just because they're, you know, they're getting up there and they've done their thing. But that they left and they're going to stay more often at most. Hey, they're going to stay more often at their mansion in Canada, or one of the few they have. Maybe they got one in the hey man, maybe they got one in the fucking Yukon. Maybe they got one of them motherfuckers up in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Hey, shout out to all our homies in Moose Jaw, whatever, you know, let's see, Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Yeah, I know a little Canadian geography. Yeah, I mean, you know, Medicine Hat, Alberta. Anybody from Medicine Hat, Alberta in here? I'll tell you what, anybody ever heard of Medicine, Alberta in here? Has anybody ever heard of it? I mean, I know of it. You know, I know where it's at. I know their geography a little, not much. How about Regina, Saskatchewan? Regina? How about Saskatoon? Anybody ever been a little bit south of Saskatoon? Yeah, Vancouver. You know, what the hell else is there? Penticton. You know, there's this cool little border town right over the border from Washington. I'm in Oregon, called Soyuz. It's like, dude, it's like a mile into Canada. It ain't much. It's right over the fucking border. And man, it was really cool. I was there once. But yeah, I mean, so what I'm getting at is these guys have places everywhere like that. Okay, it's not really even neither side, whether you're like totally for them, right? And their cause, or you're like against them and think they suck, and you're pro the president, right? I mean, both sides should be like, fuck, come on, man. Okay, great. I mean, it's not the end all be all. Good they left. And she wasn't even saying it like, okay, it was a weak attempt at even saying if it was the principle of it, like you're passionate like that, hey motherfuckers, get the fuck out, right? It was just like, oh my God, and it's not just that her posts are like that, so I was like kind of just, I guess I have to chuckle and laugh it off. I mean, fuck, man. If she really wants to help her cause, I'd be focusing on, you know, I'd be like hitting other issues besides that they moved and make that the end all be all for the day. Yeah. Well, some people are entertained easy, people, and it's kind of a double-edged street when it's like that, because for one, it'd be nice to be that simple, where like any shit like that would really entertain me and get me going. But I don't think it's really doing that. It's stressing her out and working her out. I think that eventually, you know, it takes its toll on you to be that way, because I was that person for years. Yeah. I gotta tell myself, you know, I was that person for years, forever, until about a year ago, really, with that bullshit. Even though I was awakened, and I've had UFO contacts for 15 years, and I was awakened and everything, but I could still be tempted to get drawn into that, right? Here and there at different times. That space, you know, a little bit. Sometimes a lot bit. But, yeah, I finally I don't know, it hit me. It was the weirdest time, too, you guys. It hit me at the weirdest time. It hit me when... I don't know, it hit me, it's like, you know, you would have thought I would have finished out the run, right? It hit me during the election last year. Like, I don't know, we were about, when was it? Probably early summer, you know, or several months out from it. I was just like, fuck, dude, right in the middle of it, right? It's like I quit. I just quit. I didn't wait it out, like, you know, wait that run out, right? Advocating for it or anything, no. I just fucking I was done. It was weird. You know what I mean? But I hadn't been really in it hard since, I had my UFO contacts in 2010, but every now and then, of course, election time, I'd say my thing here and then. I say my thing here and there, but yeah, man, I totally just, it was weird. I just woke up one day and was like, fuck. And I knew that, you know what I mean? I know what it is and know it's a bunch of bullshit, right? But I knew it was bullshit for years, and I just sit there and watch and shake my head and go, what a bunch of fuckers, fuck you. But then what happened that day that I fucking just quit, right? I started, I'd go by and watch some that my dad might have on in the den, and it would seem like I was listening to some shit from a different planet. I didn't understand it. I could hear the words they were saying and what they were talking about, but it was so beneath. It's like, it's like a geometry professor could go as low as telling you what 1 + 1 is, but if there was something below that, he might even be like, I don't think I've ever seen this before. I'm not sure what's going on here. I hear the words they're saying, but the energies behind it were just flat completely. Both different sides of that political spectrum, right? Both sides. Flat in their own weird ways, but just talking about shit that I couldn't understand it. But the only difference I could tell is it sounded like with the two, I was listening to shit from two different planets, like their coverage. But yeah, I don't know, man, but the moon's beautiful tonight. Fuck all that political bullshit, right? I mean, fuck, it is what it is. It's, hey, people, that get all involved and worked up about it, because I've been there, right? I tell you what, it's been burning since it's been turning. I'm talking about the planet, and we're here to save it. Everything's cool. Younger people are so intelligent. About people in their early 30s and younger, they were born with kind of a DNA upgrade. And as we've gone in the last 10 years, 20 years, so, these kids born about every half generation now are getting this DNA upgrade. A DNA upgrade, and they're just, they're old, they're very ancient old souls, but they've only been to Earth 1 or 2 other times. Not even 2, I'm sorry, 0. Most of them 0, and some of them 1 have been here one other time, but their lifetimes have been throughout the cosmos, right? They're ancient and ascended, so they're smart. And yeah, I know people get all fucking worked up about this. They have their nose in a phone all the time, but so does every motherfucker that's saying that shit, though. I guarantee it. So what I'm getting at is, with that, to get on them about every generation will pull that shit with the kids before, and and this one's a lot more enlightened. The grandparent and parent generation now are a little more enlightened than they've ever been when they're at that point. A lot younger vibing, so they get it more and more, right? But there's still others out there a few out there that say, oh God, it's the end all be all. Well, you know what? The fucking car from the horse and buggy and the train from the horse and buggy was going to be the end all be all. I mean, they had a doctor say, I wish I could find that quote, somewhere back when the car was first being conceived of, I don't know, the first Model T or whatever. The doctor stated that no human being could ride in something like that. A train, one thing, but they couldn't ride in a vehicle and go with more than 35 miles an hour, or something would combust inside of them. Like their heart would give out, or their lungs would give out. That's what a golf cart tops out at least the ones I've seen. So I don't know, man, but that's what I'm saying. And then of course there was the radio that came along, and oh my God, fuck, those kids are listening to some box that people are talking to them out of. What the hell's going on now? And then there's these silent movies. You can't hear them yet. They're like, oh God, there's these people that look like us on a screen. What's happening to the world? Same thing when they had sound on it. Oh my God, it's the end all be all. It's gonna be sound. Uh-oh, fuck, man. Every generation, some shit, right? Let's see, what do we go? Let's fast forward to the 70s. Pong. My parents in 1975 paid $500 then for this fucking game you put on the TV, and all it did was bounce this fucking peg back and forth. It was even prehistoric Pong. It was really doot, 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 doot. Then it come back at you, doot. Yeah, man. So shit evolves. That's what I'm saying, is that's what they grew up with, okay? If a lot of people, you think back, you hear that shit from your generation too. Oh, I remember this too, the remote control. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God, the remote control to the TV was going to make everybody so fucking lazy, and you wouldn't have anything to do. I mean, you know, you wouldn't have Billy Bob Jr.'s home on a Thursday night, right? He's going to have half his duty now, because all he's going to be able to do is go get Dad a beer for the fridge, right? So he'll be doing that all night. But now he doesn't have his duty of going and turning that fucking dial on the TV. All of a sudden, what's going to happen now? I mean, you know, and the same thing, you know, same shit with the VCRs. Oh my God, people are going to be able to watch movies at home now. Oh my God, these phones. Oh my God, this, that. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, the AI, the AI, the AI. It's the AI blues. I mean, really, man. But anyway, we're going to get off on that. But the kids nowadays are really great, and I mean, they're smart, and they're going to change the world just vicariously, right? They're just going to change shit, man. And it's a matter really what it always comes down to, right? When we're always going through one of these eras and shifts, like, well, I don't mean shift, we always go through those, but like moving into a new time frame, like from Piscean to Aquarian, like I believe firmly, we finally just got into the initial stages of this earlier this year. After people have been talking about it since it being dawning since shit, I don't know, that song in the 60s by the Fifth Dimension, the dawning, the age of Aquarius, right? So, but it's a transition, right? And so what always the worry is, too, is, you know, are we going to be, is this other part of us, right? This other half, there is a split. There's been a great fucking split, of course, but this other half that really hasn't got along with the program, I'll just say that nicely. Are they going to blow, you know, there's always, are they going to do that one thing and, you know, blow some shit up? How much damage are we going to take before it will get better, people, I'm telling you. Everything is going to be fine, but we're just kind of in this dichotomy of a space now where how much collateral damage are we going to have to take more before we just, you know, it's over with, right? Because we still know that we've got we could have a couple blunts of it coming in, right? But we got it one, but we're just, you know, how much more little shit damage are we going to have to incur to wrap it up? You know, and that's something time's going to be able to tell. Now, the more people that awaken, of course, that can speed up. But, I mean, it's going to happen anyway with the generations of kids coming in if the planet, you know, if we don't blow ourselves up. And I'm just saying that's, like, the only thing that could stop it, right? But given that everything will be cool and that shit don't happen, right, you know, then eventually, real soon, by the, like, I don't know, middle to later part of this century, man, shit will be different. And in a good way. Now you start getting in about, you know, the last part of this century, and that's not much time. I know that most of us won't live that long. Some of you will. Maybe I better start. I figured it out. I'd be 101, and I always wanted to see the bicentennial celebration. I was only 1 when it happened, or almost 1. Yeah, a month from being 1. And I was like, oh God, I wish I could live to the tricentennial, which I'd be 100, almost 101. And then maybe I could live a few more weeks, enjoy it, and die at 101 on my 101st birthday. Maybe that'll be an omen, right? But shit's going to be different. You know, kids they're clearer thinking. They are so logical in their sound mind that they just don't even fuck with it, dude. Really, if it's something that's bullshit, they don't even, and they don't really stress it that much. Then the younger kids that are like 10 now, when they're teenagers and shit, when they're in their 20s, fuck. And the ones being born now, yeah. No, they're not even about any of that bullshit at all. And they're already so far, they come, you know, I think it's pretty obvious to anybody who's awake and you've had a kid in the last, 20 years or shit, right? Or even last 10 especially. You see it. I mean, even back into the 90s, you see these kids being born bright-eyed and knowing what the fuck's going on. I mean, yeah, you know, even if you think I'm crazy for the shit I'm saying, I mean, you know what I'm saying is true with that. So, and that just isn't, you know, and that is special. That isn't, if you've seen that isn't just that your kid's special. That whole generation he's from is, the majority of them, the incarnates like him or her are. So, you know, whereas like in the past, it's been less and less of them. I mean, they've been coming like that since, I don't know, it's a few early prehistoric ones, the late 40s. Mainly got kicked in the 50s, 60s, got a real upkick in the 70s, same thing with the 80s. You know, more and more, well, every decade that could be said to be true from that point on. And more, like more and more every decade, but then multiplying more and more every decade. Yeah, so I mean, these kids that kids, some of them kids weren't born like that before, like especially the '90s, where they're that alert. There were some, but not on a mass scale. So you can see that these kids they've developed into the majority of them. Also, too, if they're interested at all in athletics, like it's not forced. They're interested in it all. These kids are hybrids. They're both really the potential. They could be a really great athlete, and they get their brains too. Like they're nerds. It'd be like combining a nerd and a jock, really, from the old stereotype. And one's hybrid human being like that, right? That's what it's like. What they're like. They're already born knowing a lot of shit. The only thing they don't know is what they already know, because they don't know that they never knew it. If that makes any sense with some shit. Yeah, and then some stuff is just like, yeah, they're so far above it, we can't even really dissect how they're looking at it completely, but I know one motherfucking thing's for sure, they're not about it at all, and I mean, and their actions tell the tale. Just in slight ways. It's just not even and it's not one of those things where it's like this big revolution to get rid of the bullshit, right, or anything. It just is. It's an understanding and knowing. There's not some big mass uptick where they're protesting shit. I'm not saying they couldn't get medieval and get that way. I think they could, but if they needed to, but they're smart and calculated. You know what I mean? So they're ready to. They're willing to. They're willing to play it out. They're young and they're strong incarnates, and this shit's gonna change. But it's a matter of how much of this bullshit will we have. Will we have some other war spill over in the Middle East and the, whatever. It's gonna be exchanges between each other, but a lot of that's all show too. So whatever it is, how much realism there is in it, if it's a little bit, it's varying degrees, of course, from people's opinions of all this shit being staged. Is the news staged? Is it totally fake? Is it, Yeah, I would say at the end of the day, probably, but it's not like that. But you can't just box it in like that, because there's most of these players in it, to be honest, they're just dipshits that don't know any better, or they know, but what can they do? I mean, they're in a fucking tough spot, so... Yeah, but that kind of energy is fading. It's going bye-bye. And, that's just kind of the way it is. I mean, if you get what I'm saying, here's the deal. If you get what I'm saying at all, and I'm not the best articulator, people, please. I know that. I'm not fucking Art Bell. And I'm not, I'm not going to say I'm not George Norrie, but, well, I'm not. But, I'm just saying, if you can vibe with what I'm saying at all, you'll know what I mean. But if don't understand what I'm getting at, you probably will at some point someday. It's a matter. What I'm saying is, humanity is waking up big time. For those of you who are not into New Age and starseed and light worker shit, that are probably listening to me, right? And alien contactees like me, yes, I have lots of them. But I know how weird that must sound to some people, but it's true. It's true. And I've talked about it at length on my YouTube channels, and which I have 5 of them I'd like to plug. Maybe it'll give me some hate mail or something. I have 5 YouTube channels, and the reason is it's not out of ego. None of them really that big. What happened was about 13 years ago when I signed up through them. You see, you had to do your shows on YouTube back then through Google Hangout and run it through there. Back in 12, 13, up to clear, that's how I did it till I quit doing it for 5 years in 2018. But, and so I signed up and I got 5 YouTube channels. I never used 3 of them the whole time I did before I quit for doing it for 5 years. I never used the 3 of them except for like 2 shows on one and 1 on the other, and they weren't really shows, they were just bullshit. So I really didn't use 3. So what I did was when I came back, I have all these Facebook pages too, a ton of them, which you can find at the Larry Locken Network, but actually the primary name is Rocken Larry Locken Social Media Outlets. And that's not with an I, Rocken, that's with an E, because my last name is Locken, L-O-C-K-E-N, baby, yeah. And so you can find everything I'm involved in there. There's too much. I get on a stroll telling you all the shit I'm on. And I do that. You got to understand, people, I'm autistic, okay? Whether you believe it or not, whatever. I have what's called Pleiadian autism. Read about it. And so I go all over the place, okay? I go on a fucking rant, and if I'm doing this, when I'm doing a talk show with my co-host or a co-host, I'm cool, and I play it like, I don't know, like George Borey would, kind of. but when I'm doing a self-talk, I just kind of flow in consciousness. And I didn't realize I did that. I know I channel all the time because I do. I've got it documented everywhere. But I mean, I didn't think when I talk normally. I thought I would know when I was in flow consciousness. And my co-host told me that I would do it on the show. And I do it on the show. She does too. And so I just flow. And now I can't even remember. I'm off track now. But okay, so yeah, I'm on all those social media websites. And why did I say that? There was something. I'm forgetting what the hell we were talking about. I'm in total channel mode, but the guys are fucking with me. To be funny. So like, but I was giving you the name of that page because I'm on everything, because I try to, get around. And I'm not used to that shit, because years ago, man, this is what was available when I first started doing this, right? Any kind of social media. So MySpace had kind of fiddled off and done its thing, right? So they weren't involved. Facebook was really rolling. Twitter was coming into, which is now X, was coming online. But the thing with Twitter back then, for a while, the thing that, for you youngsters, look at old Uncle Larry, the thing with Twitter back then was, when it first got going, it was just a site that was known for, at least that's the way people looked at it, and that I looked at it, was where, I don't know, middle-aged dudes would trade, witty one-liners back and forth with each other, right? Yeah. Or give their opinion on something, mundane, a car, a candy bar, who knows, right? So I think we posted our stuff there too. I don't think if you go live yet there. I know you couldn't go live on Facebook yet, though, at all. I mean, you had all the pages and stuff in the groups, and so I shared it around like that, but you couldn't go live, or, yeah, you couldn't go live back then. It took a couple of years. And Twitter, I don't know if you go live from the beginning. If I didn't get on there to do it for about 2 years, so they might have been able to. It's just that I didn't need it, and I thought Twitter was, like I said, I should have looked into it a little more at the time, but I always laughed it off as this thing where people just traded one-liners back and forth, and I was like, okay, cool. The tweets, the tweet, yeah. So now you got everything, man. Snapchat, UChat, WeChat, HeChat, SheChat, Instagram, Telegram. Go Telegram, I want a gram. Go get me a gram before I go on airgram. Yeah, Telegram, tell a friend, tell a lie. I mean, all that shit, dude. I've lost WhatsApp, which sometimes is a bunch of crap. You know what I'm saying? TikTok, hip hop, bit bop, and it don't stop and it won't stop. Not even till the break of dawn. Got that, of course. Lemonade, which is great. Just ask my friend Nate. He likes to go on there to master his checkmate, because he plays a lot of chess. He likes to learn more about chess. Fuck, man. I need my meds, probably should go to bed. I don't have any dreads. I got plenty of street cred. I'm on Threads. Threads, yay, Threads. What else? Gray sky, purple sky. Oh, I already said gray sky, but, gray skies are going to clear up, so put on a happy face. Blue sky, blue sky. I like the energy of blue sky. Blue sky's got a nice flow to it, right? What I don't understand it, because they're independent, they should do let people go live from there. It's smooth, but it's dead. Okay, it's flat. I'll be honest with you. I've done shows on these different ones. I give you my honest opinion on each of the formats. Blue sky is really cool. It's got a nice, cool energy to it. I mean, you don't feel anything fucked up about it, but yet again, I mean, if you're younger, you're going to find it flatter than a motherfucker going over there. I'm telling you, well, you'll be at peace over there, but it's like really kind of down low. Like really, I don't know. I'm waiting for somebody to have a pulse there. No, there are people that do. It's very calm energy, right? And it can seem a little flat, but it's okay. I like it. It's all right, there's things I like. Most of them I do like. Most of them say shit about, but there's a few things I can't stand about these different social media platforms. TikTok to me, it probably would be my favorite, even though I use Facebook the most and other things. But the thing about TikTok, and I'll just say this about them, they did I know they got in hot water and shit, right, for whatever, they were down a couple hours in the U.S., but I think that, and I don't blame them in a way, I think they got real paranoid and just freaked the other way, though. Now, I tell people they're still afraid of TikTok. There's still people out there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, there are still people out there that are hesitant to come on to TikTok. ooh, they've heard shit about it before, like 100 years ago. You know, oh God, oh no, we're gonna die. And I tell them, you know what? They're the most, because of what that shit that happened to them. It's even the other way worse. They're more censorship oriented than any of the platforms right now. In some ways, in most ways, really, I'd say they're the most. And I'm not ragging on them because what could, you know, fuck, man. I mean, they were under a lot of pressure to do that shit, to, you know, clamp down and all that. I don't like it, but I don't like it, and it sucks because they have the ability, and I thought we're going to be the innovators in quantum computing, or what I thought really was people. I honestly thought that what they would probably be is they would probably be the forerunner to whoever created the first quantum computing system, right? Or they would do it, or somebody would come along that, like Facebook did to MySpace. Okay, Facebook came along, and what they did is MySpace was okay, but it was, I can't remember what they were, but I was dead set on there was 3 fucking issues that they needed fixed, and I said they're gonna have to do it. This Facebook could really take charge if they do it, and then Facebook did whatever I was thinking at the time, and MySpace just, you know, it went away. Plus Facebook had the advantage of coming in second. Sometimes you don't want, you know, when you come into a market and there's already an oligopoly doing something, okay, there's 2 powerhouses, it's rough, right? It's rough. But if you're the second one that comes in, though, just the second one, and you can perfect some of the deficiencies and hone in onto the other one, I mean, you can take it over. They had the advantage of that name. Okay, let's face it, that name was more inclusive to families and everything. Not the name itself, but the feeling around the name. Like, just like with MySpace, MySpace doesn't mean anything about like teeny bopper or anything like that, but it got the rep for being that way, that site. So, you know, there was the more inclusive family thing, and I'm not telling you how I feel, I'm just telling you what I think is what happened, and Facebook just took off like wildfire. So, you know, yeah, it's one of the things, but TikTok could have been like the forerunners for that, right? To whoever was going to come along and do it. And maybe they still can, but, you know, there's this thing where, I don't know, they're thinking about doing a U.S. only. I think everybody knows that. You know, this fall they're going to have a U.S. only TikTok platform. Not to talk to people in the U.S. only, but like the shit with the algorithms and shit that you would search would be strictly out of searches that were made by people from the United States. So I don't know if a VPN could override that or not. I'm not an IT guy at all. I mean, I know everybody says that I'm not. I know I can get online, I can download shit, I can do that. That's about it. I mean, you know, edit shit. That's it. I don't know how to do really anything else with it, any kind of the internal part of it. So I don't know how that works. I've heard about VPNs for years, and I don't know why I've never got one. I just guess I don't think I thought I've really ever had any problem accessing shit from anywhere that I wasn't supposed, or they didn't want me to. But yeah, I thought I saw a light just go off up in the sky there. Maybe not. I don't know. Oh, look at the camera light goddess is flying around in the air. Yeah. You know what, people? I don't even know. I got on a channeling. I have no idea what I told any of you just now. If anybody can hear this, I'll be honest with you. I'm not crazy. It's just I get into a channeling and I just, whatever I said, I have no idea right now at all anything that I said before what I'm saying now about it. So I want to thank everybody, though, for listening. If you have suffered through this, my condolences, honestly. Really. Yeah, I think I went clear all the way back. Okay, I went all the way talking about that lady that was talking about what was exciting to her all the way through the different platforms. Okay, so I've said nothing. I apologize. I really do apologize for wasting everybody's time. I'm serious, man. Fuck. Well, hey, here's to a happy meteor shower. Whenever it happens. Alright, man. Rockin' Larry Locken, 1 2 1 2. I'll give you my stereotypical opening line or closing line I used to use all the time. Rockin' Larry Locken, your host with the most from coast to coast, giving up all the toast, giving you coolness, hotness, and everything you could have possibly fucked up that one. Possibly cosmically wantedness. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, tonight apparently wasn't my night. I got out of the gate, man. got down the lane, it was ahead, and man, I had about a length to go and blew it. With that there, but usually it comes out real good. But sometimes though, because that's a lot of times I'm doing them in the morning. Sometimes here at 10, sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Larry at 10 o'clock on the west coast of the United States is, well, I don't know, he's a little more relaxed. You know, his brain's not as sharp. There's no reason for that. It's just because it's late in the day, though. You know what I mean? It's just because it's late in the day. There's nothing else that would have been involved that would have, you know, caused that effect to happen. I was just saying, you know. Yeah. Huh. Oh, well, now we're back on. I couldn't get off of this feature where it was the names all over the board. Let's see if I can. Yep. The Merkabas are in the streetlights. People, those aren't just, hey, listen. This is going to really sound crazy to people who aren't into this too. These lights here, these street lights you see, that's not my camera doing it. They're really that fucking bright if you were right here. Okay, that's one, right? Two, there's extraterrestrials in there. They're Merkabas. They use that energy at night. LED is a clean energy that was actually inspired by the extraterrestrials. So it's like it's like one of the only good things that, you know, they do. They actually, the lights, street lights like this are not, the modern ones are okay. Well, actually they're good, but yeah, that's not, they don't use them because they're being nice, so they, you know, unfortunately they're cheap. Look, hi everybody, I got my eye on you. I got my eye on you people. Look at that, I got my eye on you people. You know, I wish I could bring that up when I'm calling anybody, like for official reasons, business reasons, or anything. Have this on and tell them, you better get it done. I've got my eye on you. I got my eye on you people. All right, people. You know what? I thought I was gonna go, but how does, you know? I think I've got this invite people down shit, but you know, I mean, look, I'm not saying anybody would want to come on and talk to me, but I mean, when I'm doing my show with Carolyn, my co-host, or others, sometimes I'm able to do it. And I don't know. What I don't know is when people pop by and it says, some people it just says join, and then some people it'll say invite. I don't know if that's because they're wanting to join the show, or if that's because that's just something that's on their profile when they go by. I have no idea, but you know, one day I will have that mystery solved, even though I've been able to do it before, but I don't know. Somehow somebody left me a chat once, and I don't know, I still keep. I can do all this other shit, but for some reason, I can't. TikTok, I'm too old, people. I can't find where the chat is. And there's no way anybody could tell me where it was, because I can't see it to see it. And I don't even know if, yeah, I don't know. Huh. And then if I was looking for something else, I couldn't, or I would find that one, I'd find the chat. But yeah, I don't know, have any idea. No, not that. Well, people, I really am sorry. Again, my condolences that I've wasted your time, seriously. That the eye is watching you. Yeah, hi. It's watching you. Oh. Yeah, private eyes, they're watching you. Yeah, they see your every move, don't forget. You know, this is what the government probably uses to spy into people's houses. Little laser down from a plane and come in your house, and it forms a camera, complete view, not like infrared, and they can watch and hear everything. You think that's crazy? Now they've had that technology since the late 70s, so who cares? Oh well, let them. All right, people, I won't bore everybody with me going back and forth on this. Yeah, I think that nobody said anything. Hey, would anybody take pity on me and just say hi so I can see if I can see where a chat's coming from? Because maybe I have it, but I don't see any. Somebody say hi, just say hi so I know that how it works. Or maybe it has worked and I just can't find it. Huh. Well, you think I would by this point. Okay, alright. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, I can't tell if anybody said hi. Huh. I can't figure it out. Well, that's just how it goes, I guess. I guess that'll have to remain a mystery to me, too, at this point. And then next time I'll figure it out when I'm on. I'm just having a brain block with it, trying to see if anybody said hi. Hello, everybody, though. Okay, well, yeah, I said what I had to say, and now I don't see the moon anymore. The moon has already gone down. Okay, well, that was an exciting night. Yay! You know, every time there's a celestial event, though, here on the Oregon coast, most of them, about 75% of the time, I've been tracking it about 13 years now. It's so cloudy. Any kind of blood moon, right? Any sort of, a lot of meteor showers, any sort of eclipse. Yeah, that's really cool. Other than that, we see everything here for some reason. Out here in Pleiadian country, which this is Pleiadian country, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, I mean, they're everywhere, but the Pacific Northwest, probably about the last northern third of California. You start with Shasta and the Redwoods, right, and you go up to Oregon, Washington, and into British Columbia of Canada. You're talking Pleiadian country, really. They're predominantly, if the U.S. ones, stationed like that part, and they like Scandinavia. They like everywhere, really. They're everywhere, but as far as America goes, the vibe, the Pleiadian vibe is more apparent in that region. I'm not saying everybody is here, don't get me fucking wrong. But, yeah. It's a little weird. The veil's kind of a different kind of a thinner in that area that I just mentioned, right? You get over, you know, it doesn't vibe like that in Alaska if you go west from BC, of course, not at all. Or if you go east to Alberta from there, or east to Idaho from Oregon, right? It doesn't vibe like that. There, it's like in that one area, it's got a real strong Pleiadian vibe. Yeah, and it starts about Shasta and the Redwoods. You know, last northern, you know, you take California, split it in thirds, that top northern third, Oregon, Washington, and BC. Yeah, that'd be a cool breakaway country, man. I'm not asking for a revolution, but that would be a cool, yeah, country. And you might see that more of that stuff happening, co-ops between provinces and states, and you know, who knows? Just people move more towards one planet thinking instead of fucking borders and all that bullshit. I mean, really. Look, I get it from an economic point if you're all paranoid about that and stuff like that, or, you know, well, no, I really don't, because most of them work for slave wages. And the thing about it is, too, right, I mean, yeah, I know there's been murders by immigrants that have come here. The media hypes that up, but there's millions upon millions for each one of them that are really hard-working people. I mean, you know, that's just the bottom line. You don't like it, but I think we need to start having a more planetary consciousness thought. I always have. Oh, but they'll scare you with it. Oh, that one world government. Oh, yeah. Dude, come on, man. People don't even break down that logic. Look, that kind of mentality, dictator mentality, could work on a country. We know that. We've seen that a million times. It could even work on a continent. But dude, when you're talking about one planet together, you know, you got all the people on the planet. I don't think so, man. It's a paranoid. They like borders and shit like that. They like people separated and divided. And most of that agenda that talks about that one world government. Yeah, that's the funny thing. You know what, one president for the whole planet. And see, the thing is, it already is a one world government in a way. Call these businesses that control the planet, and then above them. So, but there's steps to it. So, you know, that's just how it goes. The one world government. Okay, see, here's the thing. Here's who doesn't want the one world government more than even people that think they don't want it. The one world government does not want the one world government. Yeah. Let that one sink in. The one world government is the one that really, really, really doesn't want the one world government, because they don't want the whole planet united. They realize that 1 million people with all the weapons on the planet, and then you got 7 billion people that are not separated by borders and shit. Come on, man. Even if that were the case. Yeah, no, they don't like that idea. They know that kind of mentality is coming, but, you know, they want to hang on to for dear life, and, yeah. They don't want to fall off. They're trying to hold on. But anyway. Alright, well, the camera light goddess, the lip disc, I call it the lip disc. These pictures of the lip disc. It's actually light, reflection off light. And every form of light has life in it, okay? You know what I mean? Okay, if you're cleaning off your lenses and a bunch of crust and shit on there with light in it, whatever, it could be smudge, but even lens flare and camera glare that people see sometimes, which people think anything is that they can't understand. Those are light codes. They're light reflections of light. You know, just like with mirrors. Mirrors set up the right way can reflect into other dimensions. Right? There's a whole thing to be keyed into with that. And I'm not Albert Einstein, folks, as you can obviously fucking tell. So, you know, I know. Yeah. Alright, well, for the eye and for everybody out there, this is the new eye network here. Instead of CBS's eye, fuck that. We got this one here, the Starseed Network. Here, that's our new eye on you. We got our eye on you. Yes. So, alright, people. I'm out. Nobody wants to say hi. Oh, I'm going to say hi to somebody that says say hi, but I think that that's just generated. You know. Oh, invite somebody as a guest. Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to. I don't want to invite some. See, I'm not like that. I'm really shy. I'm not gonna. Well, I'm not. I am, and I'm not. But I'm not going to invite somebody if I don't know they want to be invited, unless it's something that's already been planned. But yeah, I don't know. I think that just says they're available to be invited, or I don't know. Yeah. Well, they were born in 1976. That's in their name. That's a year younger than me. Still late Blu-ray. Yeah, well, Well, that was interesting. Yeah, so if anybody, okay, so I'm going to put this out here before I go real quick. So if anybody who put an invite out there, let me know, because I don't know, and I don't want to invite somebody just because it has it by their name. Maybe they don't want to be invited. So if that's you, if that reflects you, message me and just to let me know, hey, that was what you were asking for, because that would help me. Not only that would help me, because then I would know for sure when people did that shit, right? Okay, that's what they were intending. Alright, people, so with that, I'm out. I think, yeah.